Well, that was quite the interesting rainfall sound, but welcome everybody back to the next episode of The Life and Suffering of Sir Brante with me. Last session, we made it all through our childhood and most of the way through adolescence. We weren't able to save Sophia, I believe her name was the peasant girl, from her first death because we were still exhausted from our childhood and taking the noble sacrament, which was big sad because that would have given us our second death, but it also would have given us a bunch of stats. And as you'll see, our dude is not doing so hot. I'm slow. Ah! I would like to at least be bright, and I really don't care about spirituality, but I would like to try to get up to noble and at least bright. It's kind of my goal. So yeah, we're 13-year old, and just get back into this. The plan for today is just kind of probably to get to the end of adolescence. I think that would be a good stopping point. Just as a warning, we might not get there in this episode because I am waiting on some people to get back to me. Because it is a beautiful day outside, and I would like to do some stuff outside. I just need to hear back from them. But other than that, let's get right back into this. We were with our boy Tomas here by the silver tree, and let's just see how this goes. So, the silver tree. Your theology teachers tell you more about Anazote. It is more than just the provincial capital. It is also the sacred place blessed by the gods. It is where the twin gods' first disciples spilled their blood, and from that blood grew the sacred silver tree. Excuse me. Its enormous foliage hangs over the city. You see its branches in the sky every day, but you have never approached the trunk of the tree yourself. So, I imagine we're going to approach the trunk of the tree. Today will you be taking your first trip to the silver tree. Your class is visiting a service in the great temple by the tree's very roots. Thanks to your theology teacher, you and the other students will witness this landmark of the twins' advent up close. Everybody is excited. Speaking of which, somebody messaged me. We'll see what they have to say. Soon, you and the other boys enter the slums surrounding the church district of Anazote. The roots are pulsating under your feet. They spread underground all throughout the area. Pathetic, cramped hovels and filthy streets surround the trunk of the tree. They're home to paupers, day laborers, and preachers. The people of the district bow humbly to you and point you towards a temple. They seem at peace despite the abject poverty at which they live. I'm going to just check what my friend said really quickly. Could we do... Is it... Basically, he was like, he thought, so today is Saturday, and he thought yesterday was Saturday, so it doesn't look like we might be doing something, so, and yeah, he's trying to wait on him, and also trying to wait on a potential date, but, oh, well, let's see, we're just going to continue now in the meanwhile, though. The people, so I already read the rest of this. All who lived directly beneath the tree are filled with its divine grace, your teacher says. People come here to make peace with the world and their fate in it. Your class is unusually quiet. Everyone is listening to the rustling of the leaves and the underground beating of the roots. The sky above you is obscured by the tree's canopy. You find the Temple of the Twin Gods right next to the tremendous trunk of the tree. It seems part of it, you'd say. There's a crowd there. Pilgrims dressed in traveling clothes, paupers and beggars, common people of the city, and the occasional well-dressed noble. There are arguments among some people who are gathered in separate small groups. Many people are wandering around, staring upward at the tree's branches. The tree impresses you with its might, and the calm emanating from it. You're so filled with desire to sit down and think of the world, to learn something about yourself, to touch the silver white bark and hearken to the whispering leaves. You're distracted enough to fall back from the rest of the classmates. You notice a small path. It should take you right next to the trunk. A tall, red-haired woman walks out of the crowd of pilgrims. She was wearing a worn white robe. She is no longer young, but her face is youthful and covered in freckles. Her hands clutch a book. You've never seen this lady pilgrim before, yet she looks at you almost as if she has recognized a lifelong friend. She beckons to you and says her name, Matilde, a preacher from Asnia. What she says next shakes you to your very core. It is very commendable to see a young man so keen to learn the teachings of the twin, she says. Yet you will never follow the light of truth within the walls of the temple. Inside you will only find lies about the lots, the erring words of prophet Isis sanctified by the passage of centuries. Yet anyone who sets out to read the accounts of the twins' own lives knows that they never so much as mention the lots. The red-haired preacher's words frighten you. They clash with everything you've heard from Mother, everything you've been taught at school. The lots? Are they a lie? You freeze in fear. Should you argue with Matilde, or ask her for more information, or should you treat her as a madwoman and catch up with your classmates? You suddenly feel a small, warm hand grasp your own. You see a girl right next to you. She's just a little older than you, wearing a black dress, threadbare, yet almost spotless. Her hair is covered by a handkerchief, with only a single golden lock showing. Didn't quite match, bro. Her brown eyes are burning with rage, her hands pulling you away from the red-haired preacher. You stare in confusion at this strange young girl, your cheeks flushed by the sudden touch. There's just one bit of color on her cheeks, too, but then she starts speaking to you quickly. Don't listen to her. She's dangerous. Come to the temple with me. Only there will you see the truth. You stand there, surrounded by a crowd of praying pilgrims and the sound of shuffling feet, torn between two people you've never seen before, and each of them expects you to follow her. But all the while you hear the whispering the wind in the tree's branch, the branches reach out for you, almost as if the tree wishes to speak to you itself. Can you hear its voice? Okay, I know, based on what's going, is Jean, I think this is what her, yeah, Jean, the girl we just saw, is a potential relationship status, probably if you want to go into the religious path. I don't really want to go in the religious path, and I do kind of believe that the idea of lots is a mechanism to, both in this world and our own, to keep people in their space and keep the elite ruling on top with their power and stop what they call social stability, but what is just discrimination for their benefit. So I can follow the girl in the temple, which is, if you want to pursue Jean, you can stay with the red-haired pilgrim, which would be +1 spirituality and Jean doesn't like me. I can leave them and approach the tree, which gives me +10 willpower, or I can give in to the epiphany. You open yourself to the tree and listen as it speaks. So this is, I honestly, these are all like spirituality paths, right? Oh, but am I gonna pass up on the spirit revelation of the tree? So it's leave them and approach the tree, or give in to the epiphany. This gives me a revelation of the tree. I just don't know how useful the revelation of the tree will be moving forward. But I feel like it could. And Gene and I are acquainted. Or I can just take the 10 willpower. I think I don't want to pass up the opportunity to give into the epiphany. You step away from the girl in black and the woman in white, your eyes transfixed by the tremendous towering trunk of the tree. Tremendous, that's a weird word. Tremendous towering tree trunk would probably sound better, but for some odd reason you recall Mother's ant farm, with ants hard at work inside, and her face as she explained it in laws. It is a fleeting, distant memory, a child's realization about the workings of the world at large. And at the very moment, you see yourself and all the people for the ants they are. You cannot look away from the tree. The people around you begin to fade away. Their voices melt together and disappear. The world that surrounds you feels frozen and still now. The slow swaying of the rustling branches is all there is. The branches catch you and raise you up. You soar in the air, higher and higher along the trunk of the silver tree. The branches, the leaves, their light is blinding. Their light holds you up and embraces you. And at this moment, you realize something as clear as the daylight beating down on you from high above. This tree is divine. There is no doubt left in you. The tree is planted by the twin gods and left in this land, an ever-living proof and a mark of the twins' existence. In the tree, it speaks to you. It speaks in a language you understand, in the language you learned before you were born. It speaks of soothing love, and of crystal clear law, and of love and law intertwining to bring the miracle of life to you. From this high up you can clearly see all the land below. From here you can see the entire empire embroidered with a shining thread of providence, illuminated by the twins' presence. It takes you but a moment to finally realize what the teachers have been talking about all this time. The fates and lots of the people, the workings of life in the empire, it was all created and arranged by the twins, and absolutely everything bears their mark, their design and inspiration. And it is in this world that you were given life. Somehow, the tree seems to realize the revelation is now fully within you. It gently lowers you back to the ground. You glide down the glowing branches, illuminated by what you see today. I would disagree with the statements in this. It might have been better for me to follow the willpower, just to follow what I more fully believe in. Just because I believe the whole idea of lots and the assigning of social stratification is a human construct. It's not divine providence. It's not the fate. It's something we put in place. Something that people who were more crafty and cunning put in place to benefit themselves at the expense of others. So, you spoke to them? Jean utters, just managing to stammer out. You come back to your sentences. You are still standing by the tree, firmly rooted to the ground. The branches release you, and you're once again aware of the pilgrim's prayer and the noise of the crowd. The young girl in black is staring at you. She's clearly agitated. My uncle is a priest, and he told me the twins can choose to speak with you through the tree, but I've never seen it happen before. That would probably be more... That was exasperated. It says she was angry, though, right? She's clearly agitated. My uncle is a priest, and he told me the twins can choose to speak with you through the tree. But I've never seen it before. It happened before. I wish it happened to me, Baka. Jean starts asking you questions. She wants you to tell her what you just experienced, but you cannot speak. It's so difficult to see the temple's familiar interior again, to see the district above it and the sky above. The memory of the sight from atop the silver tree now gleams in your mind. I just hope that you'll share the revelation with me someday. Don't worry, I'll get it. My name's Jean. I'm an acolyte. I work in the temple. I help my uncle clean the grounds and cook food for the poor. And I also greet the worshippers. People come here all the time. Many are lost, and they don't know where to go once they're inside. But nobody should feel lost in this place. This temple is for all the estates. But then you hear your theology teacher calling you. It's time for your class to return to your school. Before you leave, Jane suddenly takes your hand. You can't help but blush. Please, listen to me. Few people ever see these things. The twins, they were speaking to you, and you heard them. It's a sign. You should become a priest. You'll be guiding those who cannot hear the twins. You'll be helping their souls find their way to the top of the pillar. It's the most honorable calling in the world. You say goodbye to the young acolyte. Yet, as you return to your ordinary life, Jean's words remain in your memory from that day forth. So now we're acquainted, and we're probably by the will of the fates you were destined to meet. I am now one spirituality. Experience of revelation by the sacred silver tree. Wow. If I had that happen, maybe I would actually become religious, though. Like, if I got a divine calling directly from... Not let that thing interrupt me. If I got a divine calling directly from the God, I think I would become religious. Because then I would know a truth, and I'd want to share that truth with people. But until that happens, that would be like the only way for really convince me is to have some undeniable proof to myself that a God exists for me to, in real life, follow that road. Just because I can't, I can't believe in something that I can't just, I can't take that leap of faith and do it. Just when everything, we have scientific proof made by our own hand, made by the human hand that we've discovered that, points towards a different truth, a truth of evolution, the truth of a Big Bang, the truth that we came together in groups to work together, and then we created religion as ways to answer the questions of why do we want to live in a world that has no intrinsic meaning to it. So I believe what's interesting is that life is intrinsically meaningless. Doesn't have a meaning. And that's like the edgy answer when your kid's like, there is no meaning. But like, truly, you're able to find your love in this life. You're finding what's meaningful to you. Just because it has intrinsically no meaning doesn't mean you can't create meaning out of it. So that's why I think we created religion, and what keeps us going and keeps us sane from wondering we're on this freaking rock hurtling through the space in the abyss. And what does it mean for space to be expanding? What does it mean for nothing to be there and then something to be there? Why, like all these questions. But we want answers as humans. That answers bring us security, bring us calm. And I think religion has that is one of the reasons for religion's existing. I think religion helps provide guidance, answers, security, community, a lot of things that can be beneficial for a person. So, another school day is ended. The Shadow of the Past is the name of the chapter, by the way. Another school day is ended. You're making your way home, still mulling over the things you learned from your teachers. The founding of the empire, the eternal and unbreakable rule of a single dynasty, the three estates, each with its own rights. What an odd sort of order the world has, and yet so mysterious. At least, it sounds that way when your teachers talk about it. Mother is waiting for you on the porch. She smiles gently when she sees you, and yet her expression still shows great concern. Father left on a trip to several different Magran towns a few days ago. Since then, Mother has been trying to tell you something, but she seems uncertain. Son, could you put your things away and come pray with me? You join Mother in a prayer to the twins. She prays with fervent sincerity, her head bowed low, reciting the words of obedience to them and their greater design in a barely audible whisper. You repeat after her, just as she had taught you ever since your little boy. The thing is, you know, I think there is a lot of merit in becoming like a priest and helping people find security and calm and meaning in their life. And honestly, religion might be the easiest way to do it. It relies on storytelling, it relies on belief, not logic. And but for me, I could never pursue that because fundamentally I could never live a lie. That's something I didn't believe in myself to make other people feel better. But what I do believe in is improving our social structures, improving the world around us, you know, as to achieve a similar goal. Yes, I would say it's a lot harder because, you know, politics is horrible because it's basically just a bunch of people trying to push their will onto each other. And when I often take it is my personal stance is I'm often okay with holding anybody holding the beliefs that they do, as long as they don't use those beliefs and don't push them on others, force them to others, justify their actions to cause harm to others through their beliefs. Politics is just pushing their beliefs on others. Yet, I think it's the only true way, lasting way, you know, not based off of a myth to create a better world around us. And that's what's freaking difficult, dude. And it's not like I'm gonna go into politics and solve everything. I'm not that naive. I'm optimistic. I am, people would call me naive, certainly. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna have an impact. So, the question is then how can you have the greatest impact? And, but while also feeling a lot of personal satisfaction for yourself. And I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out too. Is I think I want to become a professor because I really like helping people become the best version of themselves that they can become through feeling confident and competent in themselves, to feel sure of themselves that they're not an idiot, that they can overcome with effort. And I love teaching. I love doing that. I love sharing knowledge. I love, being a mentor. So we'll see what my future holds. Just made me think of that when reading this. But you repeat after her in prayer, just as she has taught you ever since you were a little boy. When the prayer ends, Mother sighs and turns to you. Parsons, my son, you are 13 now. You'll be grown soon. It's time you learned about certain things that are important to our family. Difficult things. It's about your father and me. About a marriage. You gaze curiously into Mother's eyes. I'm sure you've wondered about this before. Your father is a nobleman of the mantle. So how could he marry a commoner with another man's child? Marry a commoner with another woman's child? I think, is that supposed to say woman's? Doesn't seem to make sense. But you see, Parsons, your father, when his first wife, Amelia Bourne, died, it was a painful blow to him. He lost the will to live, lost all purpose. He felt like his own destiny was cut short that day as well. But then he met me. You know the troubles I had in the past. I went to the prefecture as a petitioner, to for help, protection, justice. But when I was a young girl, I worked at a small shop that sold crockery and dishes. A nobleman took a liking to me. May his name be forever forgotten. The twins know I was humble and honored his lot to rule. But he took me by force. Oh, fuck. Jesus Christ. Mother falls silent, summoning the courage to continue. Gloria is that nobleman's daughter. But he was outraged. How could I have had the gall to burden him with low-born progeny. He turned me out on the street with that little baby girl in my arms. Oh, sorry to ruin the moment. Mother's voice is shaking now. You take her hand tenderly. I had no home, no honor, nowhere to go, no one to help me. When I went to the prefecture, I didn't really think the judges there would help me find justice against my former master. But when Sir Robert heard my plea, his eyes, they met mine, and I believe that at that very moment the twins themselves granted him the gift of their love. Your father told me that there was nothing he could do to make that detestable nobleman marry me, but he would never abandon me and baby Gloria, and if I agreed, he would take me into his own home. Tears are running down Mother's cheeks. And I know it, my son. I knew how much his honor and his reputation would suffer. But caring for me brought him back to life. It's like he experienced another sacrament. He rediscovered his noble purpose, his lot to rule and protect and care for others. But his decision to marry me, he still pays for that till today. Your father had the courage to defy your grandfather, the founder of the bloodline. If only you know how much he had to endure, my son. If only you knew the despicable rumors we heard about the Brantes all over Anazote. It was only thanks to the effort of Sir Gregor that the Brante bloodline managed to hang on with what little remained of its reputation. And how the noble families have all but forgotten about that scandal. Thank the twins. Mother falls silent. She looks at you intently. Do you understand what she was telling you? My son. Oh my gosh. Ooh, that's for drinking last night. My son, I'm not telling you this just to share the pain of my past. I have no reason to complain. Even Sir Gregor has accepted me through admittedly gritted teeth. But you need to understand the heavy burden our family must bear, including our scandalous marriage and Gloria's foul origin. And Gloria, she can never be a Brante. Even if the elder Brontes agreed, the news would stir up the old scandal in the mind of high society. If that were to happen, Parsons, they would even see your birth as illegitimate. Mother sighs heavily. What I told you just now is something you have to know, my son. You are about to enter adult life. By my lot, I must be humble. I cannot tell you how to treat your family. But I must ask you a question. Now that you know all this, do you still see Gloria as your sister? So we can accept Gloria as your sister, which gives Gloria +1 and Lydia +1. I can distance myself from Gloria, which gives me +1 nobility, -1 from Gloria, and -1 for Lydia. Or I can invade the question, which gives me +5 willpower and -1 in relation to Lydia. Shit, dude. Like, oh, fuck. Oh, that's hard. Because now you're being like, are you gonna give in to the superficial and the stupid of the world for your own gain? Or are you going to reject that in the name of your family? Because this distance yourself from Gloria is the It's very advantageous for you politically moving forward, but you could just feel lonely in the world without a family or anything to lean on because you're detaching yourself from the two people that probably care about you most in this world, you know, at the deepest level. You know, your father cares for you, but oh, that's hard because they both care for you, but they care for you in different ways. Lydia wants you to see, you know, yourself cultivated as a human connections, the power of that human connections, and if you have that and nothing else, well then you're okay. But Father cares for you in the sense that he wants you to succeed. He wants you to go places in life and have success on your own right. So they both care for you, but they do so in different ways. I could just evade the question and take 5 willpower. Oh shit. Like she doesn't. Oh, fuck. That's a hard question to answer. This is the hardest question I think I've had all game so far. This is like moving yourself towards the commoner, moving yourself towards the nobility, and then like this kind of fuck. I don't know, dude. Oh shit. Because I'm considering like how, you know, having more nobility is going to open up more paths in the game later, which I also want to explore. But like the ethical thing of can I make that choice and at the same time, but even though these are fictional characters, it still doesn't feel right to abandon your sister when done nothing wrong. She didn't deserve it. Like she didn't choose that path. She didn't choose her situation. What I might try to do if I was in situations accept Gloria in reality, but then in person distance ourselves. That's what I likely would try to do. I will, but so I will accept Gloria as my sister because like I couldn't. You filled with determination. You assure Mother that Gloria is and always will be your sister. You want Gloria to be a Brante too. You want her to be a part of your family. Who cares what the nobles of Anazote say? Mother beams with quiet joy when she hears this. Oh, Parsons, if you know how happy that would make me to have our family united at last. However, the joy in her face quickly gives way to concern. But I already owe good Sir Robert a debt I can never repay. He's given my daughter so much, a home, an education, his care and advice. The Bronte bloodline could suffer so much from Gloria's existence. We shall just learn to accept her status as it is. Just then, you hear Gloria carefully knock at the door of Mother's chambers. Mother! Parsons! I couldn't find you. You happily greet your sister. Yet she is your sister. No old secrets can ever change that. Mother gives you and Gloria a kiss on the forehead and returns her purse. Like, I can't forgo my humanity for my own personal gain there. Like, this is a girl who grew up together, cares for me deeply. We have experienced so much together. And to turn on her for things that she didn't control, things that were not her decisions. No, I can't. I can't do that to her. I can't. No. You and your sister walk downstairs together. Mother is alone by her bedside now, thanking the twins with a quiet prayer for the Brante family they've given her. You hope they can hear her. She's grateful and affectionate towards me now, and she has and my mother has sympathy for me. Excuse me, I just got another message from someone. Year 1131. Fall. The flash and the flame. You are 13 now. Another theology lesson. Today's sermon is about the priests and why the clergy is the only one of the three states with the right to interpret the lots and guide to interpret the lots and guide the other two states accordingly. I don't know why I read that as like two separate sentences, like there's a period. Tomas sits next to you, huffing and puffing as he firmly writes down the teacher's every word. But you've heard all this from Mother many times before, so you take this moment to daydream a little. Father promised to take you to the capital once your studies are complete. This is the flash and the flame. I'm just gonna check with what my potential data said. If time and desire. Sure. Oh, was this girl, she's driving me crazy. She's like, if time and desire allows us to hang out. Ah. Oh, but let's get back to the game so I can take my mind off that. You're 13 now. Another thing. Oh, I already read this. But the teacher suddenly casts a stern look around the lecture hall and raises his voice at one of your classmates. A boy by the name of Brian jumps out of his seat. The teacher asks him to repeat what he's just said. Brian freezes and seems to shrink. He tries to muster a reply, but nothing comes out. The class becomes agitated. The class becomes agitated. Someone is about to get punished. The teacher now looms over Brian. The boy's cheeks are flush, and his eyes are covered in tears. You all watch the teacher's iron-bound book as he raises it sharply about to strike. Brian shrieks and raises a hand in front of him. A sudden flash. The teacher screams and buries his face in his arms. His hair is ablaze and his skin is covered in horrible burns. It's magic! Real magic, just like in the books about the Maggot Rebellion. The class freezes in shock. There's a dull thud as the iron-bound book falls to the floor. Brian's hysterical laughter rends the silence. He stands up on the bench, fire in his eyes and spark on his fingertips. There are screams now. Students run for the door. The teacher tries to extinguish his burning hair. Brian snaps his fingers and the books of Isis and the dust turn into pillars of flame. He laughs and raises his arms and the curtains catch fire. The screams grow louder as the fire howls. Brian's face is tense and violent. His mouth is spewing flames, and his whole body is shaking with laughter. He steps towards the door. You and Tomas glance at each other. He's gonna burn the whole school down! I don't remember my voice for Tomas, so... Your friend's determination makes you brave. You run behind Brian and knock him off his feet. You both tumble to the floor. Even through his clothes, his body sears your flesh. Brian screams, convulses, and grabs Tomas by the shoulders with his burning hands. Tomas howls but stays put, then knocks Brian senseless with several fierce blows to the head. There are servants fussing around the room now. They set out the fire and take away the teacher, his body covered in horrible burns. You and Tomas remain next to Brian, who is lying on the floor, silent. Soon 3 men in black clothes enter the doors of the school, each bearing an edict sealed with silver. The Inquisition! Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. You and Tomas are told to step away from the witch. They lock Brian's neck in a silver collar and take him away. One of the Inquisitors remains behind to tell the students what happened. That was magic, he explained. The ungodly power that twists the minds of man into savage instruments of murder. Only the sacred shackles of silver can hold it at bay. Only the powers of the twins can save us all from its evil grasp. The next day you are forbidden from ever mentioning Brian's name again. He is no more. Oh, I just get... Oh, I'm just thinking about with this girl. She's playing like this hard to get... How to... I need to not come off as desperate. How to, like... How to interact with a girl that's playing hard to get. Just thinking about how I should cheat this situation. Sorry for the awkward silence. Okay, let's get back into the game. The Thomas Giro is +3 now. He likes me. Woo! I'm making friends with a lot of commoners. I didn't get a choice though. That felt weird though. I thought I would have had a choice to act or not. That's weird. The nobleman's lot. A great day looms ahead. 100 years ago, Uther Tempest was anointed to rule over the empire. Blessed by the twins themselves, the empire reigns continues into the second century. Oh, and also, if you're watching this, I should have mentioned to skip ahead a little bit before you start, but celebrations in honor of the Tempest dynasty are held throughout the city, and the school is closed for 2 weeks because of that. On one of these evenings, Father tells everyone that Grandfather is going to bring Stefan back home for the holiday. They they say families should celebrate the day of anointment together. You could benefit from your elder brother's company with his noble education. Stefan might be able to teach you how noblemen are supposed to act. If you're wondering what's going on, as this girl is basically playing hard to get for me, so I kind of just played hard to get back. So she was like, "Ew, I'll see if time and desire, line up for me. I'll let you know." And I was like, "Well, my friends and I are planning to make, making plans and try to enjoy the weather today." And then I have a game night every Saturday that I do, and then I was like, Sundays are usually my no my productive days, but I'd be willing to make, and so I'd have to make an exception. I didn't say I'd be willing. I said I'd have to make an exception for her if time and desire come together for her. She's like, I'm just gonna fucking, if she wants me to play that fucking game, I'll play that fucking game right back. I'm not gonna come across as desperate as I need her or anything like that. Soon Stefan arrives. He now handles himself differently. When he comes to ordering servants around and ignoring Gloria, he's still Grandfather's double, but he's grown up now and far less haughty to you. It is a dark winter evening. A damp, cold wind sweeps through the city from the barren lands of Magra. You and Stefan are sitting in the library. He is telling you all about Eterna, the capital of the empire. It is full of so many wonders. The Imperial Palace, the tremendous Temple of the Twins, the Military Academy, the Imperial College. You have read so much about these places, yet he has seen them firsthand. Nathan enters the library. He looks concerned. I can't find Gloria. I looked everywhere. She's not in the attic, not in the sitting room, not in the kitchen. I heard she wanted to sneak off to the ruin of Milonitis Palace. She could have gotten lost in there. You and Stefan exchange looks. Milonitis, the rebellious duke. The ruins of his palace are a dangerous place. Some children claimed his tainted magic still lingers there, which means you absolutely have to make your way there and back again to prove that you are not afraid of the long-dead witch. Your brother tells you to wait. He leaves and soon returns with his sword in his sheath. Get ready, Parsons. We're gonna arrest you. I don't know why I gave him such a deep voice, because I had like... What kind of voice... No, not that. I don't know what the voice... Get ready, no. No. I had this annoying-ass voice, I remember. I don't know how I did it. Get ready, Parsons. We're gonna go rescue Gloria. She must have gone to the ruin in search of inspiration for another one of her little rhymes. There we go. We'll give her that voice from now on. The two of you instruct Nathan to tell your parents you've gone for a walk in the square. You and your elder brother head outside. You are confused by Stefan's actions. He refuses to treat Gloria like a human being, so why is he still determined to rescue her? Stefan notices your expression. Are you wondering why I care about Gloria all of a sudden? I can't act in any other way, can I? The law of honor compels me to protect my family. Gloria will never be a Brante, but Father still took her into our house. I must respect this seniority and defend Gloria like she is one of my own. You are a Brante too, noble or not, which means it is your duty to aid me. The ruins of Milonitis Palace span an entire district. The palace was abandoned centuries ago, and its remnants are overgrown with a thick underbrush. The ruined palace is empty, nothing but cold wind blowing over crumbling brickwork. Even the worst scum of the land steals clear of this place. Ah. You make your way through the ruins until you spot scattered sheets of paper covered in writing. Your sister's handwriting! You hear loud laughter coming from behind a dilapidated stone nearby. You pull yourself up to peer over it. Gloria is lying on the ground, face down, twitching and sobbing. A gaggle of drunk thugs surround her, cackling and oh, you fucking better not have fucking touched her. You hear their shouts, look at that lass sitting there rhyming words together. She thinks she's all noble, but don't you worry, you low-born tart. We're gonna teach her your place. One of the louts spits on Gloria as she lies there. Get away from her this instant, you bastards, or I'll spill your guts. They respond with mocking laughter. Stefan draws his sword. The street thugs recoil in fear, but they soon notice that he is only one armed man against many. They start reaching out for sticks and stones. Stay by my side! Don't let them flank me! Stefan's hands shake, but he looks ready for battle. He's outnumbered. For a moment you hesitate. Perhaps it would be best to run for the nearby district and call for guards. The young thugs are already armed with makeshift weapons. They start approaching you and Stefan cautiously, so I can charge the attackers, which makes Stefan like me a lot. I can follow my brother's orders, which gives me 1 nobility, -5 willpower, but Stefan Brante cannot equal backblood. And Stefan likes me a lot, or I can call the guards, which gives me 1 ingenuity. And Stefan Brante does not like me. I want nobility. I want nobility. I really want nobility. So I'm gonna... But I kinda want this too. Wait a second. So I'm at honorable, so I need to... I'm at 0 points. I do want the honor though, dude. So we will follow my brother's orders. Stefan's firm voice fills you with confidence. Oh, that's points! I know which way he's shooting! You follow your noble brother's orders. It takes a moment to grab a stick, and then you are on Stefan's back, angrily swinging at the louts as they try to bring him down. One of the louts lunges at your brother with a stone, but you hit him with the stick, and he falls right down at Stefan's feet. His sword flashes. The blade sinks deep into the young man's stomach. Jesus. He wheezes. Blood starts pouring onto the ground. The thugs freeze. Stefan pulls the sword out, his face an unscrutable mask, and returns to his fighting stance. You're stunned to see Stefan take another man's life so easily and effortlessly, like picking his own teeth. The thugs look like they're about to flee. There is rage and confusion on their faces. They never expect the young nobleman to use that sword. Stefan just scoffs at them. Low-born scum, that's all you are. This is the only language you understand. Good job, brother. Gloria, get up. We're going home. He turns to glance at your sister, giving the enraged thugs just enough time to rush you. You get separated from Stefan. Your back is against the wall now. They hit you hard, in the stomach, then the face, then inside the head. Then, your mind slips away. When the darkness disperses, you find yourself lying in your bed. Stefan is in the armchair next to you, reading a book. He is alive, with a left arm and a sling and a black eye, but still alive. Your head is spinning, and you feel nauseous. You try your best to sit up. Stefan looks up from the book. Don't try to get up. You lost a lot of blood. I suppose that was a few thugs who made many for a single warrior, even with good backup. I'm impressed. We fought like an army. The noble orders the commoner obeys, all according to our lots. We defended the family's honor together. You know, brother, the nobleman's lot is also a great burden that few are able to bear. It takes courage not to fight everything, you see, but to do your duty. Each and every decision as a nobleman makes becomes a part of his family's legacy, flowing in the blood tide forever. I think about it often. A noble mustn't act weak. A noble mustn't suffer like the people of the nobleman lot. A noble must rule over them wisely. A noble must ensure that they have work to do. It's not merely your own lot you have to look after. You have to ensure that 1,000 others can live by their lot as well. And there are so many other matters to take care of. Honor, dignity, tradition. It's tough. But it's what it takes to be a nobleman. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Yeah, I don't like Stefan's. Like, the thing is, what's interesting is I pretty much grew up in this world's terms in the commoner's lot, but I'm a person that aspires to achieve more towards the nobleman's lot. So I guess that's kind of the path I'm following. But I hate these snooty privileged assholes. There's approval in your brother's eyes for the first time in a long while. It was a pleasure to fight side by side, brother. Now Stefan likes me, and Stefan treats you as usual. I wonder if you charge them. Here's my water bottle. And be back. So we open on the next part, the trial of the assailants. Before long, the entire city sees how a gang of low-born thugs assaulted Stephen Brante. Grandfather ensures that the brass young men are found. Some of them are taken to custody as soon as Lether Death releases them. Grandfather seeks vengeance on those who hurt his favorite grandson. Prefect Elborn, a friend of your family, promises to personally oversee the trial and ensure that justice is served. Stefan and Grandfather decide to stay in Anazode until the trial ends. Grandfather demands true death for every single assailant. You ask Father to explain things. How can a legal court sentence criminals to true death? How can worldly judgment overrule the twins' law? Your words are true, my son. Their law is second to none. Yet the twin gods also made the empire in all its ways. The court of law exists to execute the laws of heaven here in the world. Should the court of law sentence a person to death, and law high above will always enforce it, and so every execution brings true death. The commoners who assaulted Stefan, unborn noblemen, have committed a grave offense. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, don't matter that they assaulted me or my sister. Yeah, fuck that. And yet, according to the Emperor's decree, even commoners have the right to defend themselves when they're about to face true death. That means all of us will have to appear at the trial and testify before the court. Evening comes. Gloria visits your room. She looks crestfallen, and her fingers keep reaching for her long hair. You put away your school books and ask what is bothering her. The trial is tomorrow. I thought I was going to appear there too, as an eyewitness. After all, this whole mess started because of me. But Sir Robert isn't even a mention that I was there. Can you imagine? He says it would ruin the case. Why am I always in the way? Nobody ever mentions me. Nobody has to listen to me. It's like I don't even exist. I thought Stefan standing up for me finally meant something. Maybe I'll become part of the family. But no. Everything is back to usual now. Gloria tries her best to hold back the tears. You do your best to comfort her. Father just needs to keep the family out of trouble. If Sir Robert believes that I only bring trouble, why did he take me into this house at all? Gloria, he's trying to do the best of both worlds things where, he's trying to keep up his family legacy while allowing his humanity. Gloria runs away. You return to your books, but you can't help but get lost in thought. What if what if they told the court you weren't there either? How would you feel then? There's a knock at the door. It is father. He closes the door behind and sits next to you. There's an exhausted look about him. Son, you will be testifying before the court tomorrow. Please remember what I'm about to tell you. Gloria wasn't at the ruins at all. You went there with your brother to inspect this historic site. The low-born man insulted Stefan first and then attacked him. Stefan had managed to deal with the assailants on his own by the time the guards intervened. Gloria will cast suspicion on the case. If we mention her very existence to the court, the reputation of the family will suffer. Your grandfather will never forgive me if that happens. Do not let me down. We are counting on you. You recalled the night of the fight like it was a moment ago. Gloria sprawled under the feet of those crackling thugs, her poetry, her great treasure, scattered on the ground. She thinks she's all noble. Those were the words he spat down at her. But doesn't grandfather mean the same thing when he denies that she's part of the family? But if you do what your father tells you, the trial will end quickly. These commoners will face true death for assaulting a noble. If you mention Gloria, things will get complicated, and you can't predict how the trial will end. Which is more important to you, what is right, or what is just? So we can either support father, that gives us reputation +1, unity -1. Our father will love us, but Gloria will obviously not like us. We can lie to father, which gives us ingenuity +1, and then it gives him, yeah, my dad severely hates us. Or we can convince father to change his mind. Reputation -1, unity -1, but we get nobility +1 and spirituality +1. Oh, but it gives us reputation -1, and our reputation, I think our reputation is just, yeah, if we would go down to tarnished honor. But if we go down to quarrels and feuds. This is, but it does give us 1 nobility. It does give us -5 willpower too. I'm surprised it's not given. Ah, shoot. I think so. I'm not going for lie to father. So it's either support father. Okay. Oh, the thing that makes this difficult though, is this doesn't cost 5 willpower. Well, this does. And going to negative willpower means I'm going to limit my ability to make decisions in the future. But it does give me 1 nobility. I think I'm going to have to do it. But, oh, my reputation. Ah! But I don't think I want to go to... Okay, I'm going to convince father to change his mind. You look father straight in the eye and you tell him what you think. You are not going to bear fault witness in court. He is a judge himself. How can he make you lie to Sir Elborn? And what of Gloria? Is she not a Brante too? Does she not deserve justice? Or maybe grandfather is right, and she's just a freeloader who does nothing but shames? If so, then how come father agreed to take her into his home and under his protection? Saying this, the father is tough. Deep inside, you pray he hears no weakness in your voice and sees no blood rushing to your cheeks. But it seems he's listening to you intently, the wrinkles on his forehead growing deeper as his fingers stammer out a staccato against the armrest. This is going to be tough, son. But you're right. You are right. I took Gloria into my own home, and I must protect her like my own daughter. That was my decision, and I must stand by it. I will speak with Stefan in the morning. Now I pray your grandfather never hears of my change of heart. The day comes. The trial takes place in the lesser hall of the city prefecture. Sir Alborn himself presides as a judge. You are the first to testify to the court. You tell the court the truth about the night, how the thugs humiliated Gloria, how Stefan knew came to help her, and how Stefan defended his half-sister. Out of the corner of your eye you watch your grandfather's face grow red, yet he remains silent. There were confused whispers in the halls. The commoners on trial cry out, "It's the truth." Gloria was reciting poetry, and they simply told her she was defying her lot. The situation has changed. By this account, Stefan was not acting in defense of himself or another. He merely assaulted them first in order to retaliate against those who had insulted his half-sister. You spread your feet to stand firm and inhale before you speak next. You ask the hall, is it not a nobleman's duty to honor his family's name? Glory does not have the Brante name, but your father took her into his home. Therefore it was Stefan's duty to protect her, as he would have protected any of you. Contemptuous chuckles rushed through the courtroom. You've just reminded the city of father's shameful second marriage. Stefan is to testify next. He reluctantly confirms your testimony, glancing at father and grandfather all the while. His arm is in the sling is his main argument. Stefan wanted the commoners to stop insulting Gloria, yet in the end the commoners were the first to assault him. After a short recess, Sir Alborn returns and rises to deliver a sentence. The court of... What voice? I had a very snooty voice for this guy, I don't remember. The court of... No, the court of Anazot. That's not right. The court of Anazot finds the guilty of assaulting Stefan Brante. I don't think this is right, but I'm going to go with it. A nobleman who stood in defense of the honor of Gloria, a member of his household. All four defendants are sentenced to true death by hanging. There is no wind, but you feel a gust sweep through the hall. The defendants turn pale. Their mothers are bawling and crying. Everyone in the court feels the dreadful power of the law, and it is stern and just. That very power has been invoked by this sentence. And by that very sentence, the lives of the four young men are literally forfeit for all eternity. The gallows await. Stefan stands in the front row. Father stands next to him. The wood creaks. The trapdoors open under the young man's feet. They dangle in the air, wheezing and reaching out for support with their feet in their final moments. Grandfather's silence ends at home. He screams at you and father and Stefan and Gloria. This trial is a disgrace. His screams are punctuated by the thudding of his walking stick across the floor. Father says that he had to defend their family. It would have been truly a disgrace if they had shirked their responsibilities. Stefan excuses himself to bandage his arm more to stay out of the argument. Gloria is quiet, but glowing. You stay quiet too. It is all over now. It is all over now. Nobody bullies Gloria on the street anymore. Those four commoners are dead forever. Their families were taught a cruel lesson. So will it be with anyone who dares to raise his hand against a nobleman? Yeah, Gregor Brante doesn't like me. Oh, boo fucking who. And now we have a tarnished honor now. But we are now in slightly less from our family falling apart. So that's good. Oh, but I got four noble And I'm now a searcher. I have 2 spirituality. I have fucking more spirituality than I do ingenuity. That saddens me a little bit, but yeah, forbidden love. Forbidden love. Another day of school is behind you. You are now wandering your district, taking your time before going home. It is getting dark. Soon you are walking past the splendid mansion of Count El Velasco, one of Magra's richest landlords. You hear a familiar voice from the other side of the iron fence. It is Stefan's voice. It is followed by the sound of a young lady laughing. You peek through the fence and into the mansion's garden, and indeed, there you see your elder brother, dressed like he is about to go meet the Emperor himself. He is currently busy helping a pretty young lady out of the window. Ooh, Stefan. She locks him in an emotional embrace. You recognize her, Maria El Velasco, Count El Velasco's daughter. And as the whole city knows, she's already betrothed to another young nobleman from a far more illustrious family. Oh, Maria, aren't you just so sexually attracted to my voice? You know, I know it really gets you going, Maria. You can't resist this voice. Oh, yes. Tell me how you love it, Maria. I thought you would help you come down to earth. I would help you come. You know, I'm always looking to help you come, Maria. Down to earth from your heavenly abode, but your very touch brings me to the heavens. He picks the Count's daughter up and holds her in the air. She laughs, almost imperceptibly, and kisses him on the cheek. But then Stefan takes her by the chin and turns her to face him. Their lips join in a kiss. A flurry of emotion washes over you as you watch it happen. I honestly thought Stefan was going to hit it up with a commoner, but I bet that's below Stefan. I should have known better than that. Stefan is putting the reputation of his entire family at risk. Acting so frivolously with the Count's daughter may turn the court's influence against all the Brantes. And yet Stefan always speaks so highly of noble bearing and composure and family honor. Stefan's face is glowing with joy. Your older brother, he is happy, truly happy. You've never seen Stefan like this as his arms hold the Count's daughter in a tender embrace, so gently, as though he fears to hurt her. And Maria reciprocates his feelings. Must you really rob them of their secret joy? Okay, what's different in this situation and why I'm not going to be as sympathetic with fucking Stefan, you know, ruining this situation, is because he's a fucking dick. Like, Gloria's not a fucking dick. That's the main difference. Like, you tell everybody else about how you have to live up to honor and, you know, you have to sit in their lot, and then you don't fucking do it? You're a fucking huge hypocrite, bro. And so, I'm not gonna feel too bad in this situation of exposing this, or probably not exposing, but fucking getting him to stop it for the sake of our family. If you speak to him about this, nobody else must hear it. You wait by the gate patiently and Stefan decides to return from his escapades. He is startled when he notices you standing by the gate, so I can remind him what a nobleman's honor means, or I can aid Stefan in his cause. Wait, I get Stefan's disgrace? Fuck you, Stefan. I'll take the fucking nobility. Do I need 6 for the next one? Oh, you need fucking 7 to be dignified. I'm fucking so stupid. Ah! Oh my god. Oh, but I get 1 ingenuity. And I fucking think it'd be useful to get above, like it gives me 1. The thing is, I need 3 nobility to get to the next rank of nobility, but I really don't want to be slow. So I think I'll aid Stefan. Oh, fuck, but then if I fucking aid Stefan, this could have repercussions later. If I aid Stefan now, and then it's probably gonna end up getting exposed. It's gonna ruin our family. Shit. Does Stefan get caught though? That's the thing is I can't know. If Stefan doesn't get caught, then fuck it. It doesn't. I'd rather take the ingenuity. But if Stefan fucking doesn't get caught and fucking does this to our goal puts us down to 0. I don't know if I can take that risk. Yeah, I don't think I can take that risk. I don't think I can take the risk of because this I think Stefan will but like you could even say he's just gonna go do it anyway. Fuck you, Stefan. We're going to remind you what a nobleman's honor means. It's not my fault. You fold your arms as you face your elder brother. He's confused to see you here. You speak to him openly. You know of his affair with Maria El Velasco, and Stefan should forget that young lady as soon as humanly possible. He freezes at these words. You keep talking. A noble cannot behave like this. Stefan is risking bringing shame on all the Brantes. And worse yet, he is defying his own lot and his own words. His honor, Maria's honor, the family's honor will all be harmed by his recklessness. How could Stefan have forgotten about all this? How could he have let his emotions rule him? Why should you have been there to remind a born noble about this? You, who were born a commoner. Stefan frowns, but lets you keep talking. You wait for his anger, but there is none. When you are finally done speaking, your brother stays quiet for a long moment, and then sighs heavily. Yes, yes, indeed, you're right. I lost control of myself. Maria, I am a madman in her presence. A mad frog, you could say. I forgot the world when I'm with her, and I forget my duty to my lot and my family. I will part ways with Milady El Velasco and offer my apologies to her father. My brother, thank you. You've reminded me of who I am. From that day on, Stefan stops going out at night. His attitude towards you has changed too. He now looks at you with respect, as if he almost come to see you as his equal. Even his anger, he is now quick to recall your brave decision and stop himself. So now Stefan likes me, and I'm also going to get water. So short break. Okay, moving on, and that gives us 5 nobility. Ooh, we have progressed the year. We are now 14, 1132. We have 2 years left in the adolescence. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. If I might break this into another episode here now, though, so I will see you in the next episode where we'll finish up these 2 last years of adolescence after figuring out Stefan's illicit love affair that we have put an end to, so hopefully it doesn't fucking ruin our entire family. Well, see you next time. So welcome back, everybody. Let's hop right back into the action with this new part of our adolescence, agony. So, Stefan leaves soon after the trial, alone. This is weird that it's now mentioning the trial again after we had that weird interruption. Grandfather does not go with him. For the first time in a long while, he lingers in the house for more than a fortnight. Father says Sir Gregor is ill and needs rest. Several months go by, and it becomes clear that grandfather will never recover. The eldest Brante is mostly bedridden now. On some day he has trouble recognizing people. When he means to address you or Nathan, he calls you Robert, your father's name. But when he does get out of bed, the house grows empty. The servants hide, mother locks herself in their chambers, you and Nathan run outside or hide quiet in your rooms. If grandfather sees anyone in the hallway, he begins lamenting. Oh, nobody heeds lots anymore. Any harlot with a child can marry a nobleman these days. Children have no respect. His son betrayed and let him down. And oh, how the Brante family has lost its honor. Again and again you hear grandfather knocking on mother's door, screaming that it is all her fault. He blames her for ruining his chances to find bliss in the hereafter. He blames her for dooming him to suffer at the foot of the pillar. You overhear your parents talking one night. Mother begs father to move Sir Gregor to his old home and spare the children in his decline. Father refuses her outright. Oh, Jesus Christ, that is a terrifying image of our grandfather. It is late at night. The hot, dry winds are coming. The house is empty save for you, Nathan, Gloria, mother, and grandfather in his bed. Father has left for the capital on business. You are engrossed in the history of the empire, snapping out of your reverie only when the clock strikes midnight. You blow out the candle and get ready for bed. You hear the shuffling of heavy feet outside your door. You see light in the hallway. Grandfather? What could he want in the middle of the night? You slowly peek into the hallway once he has passed. Grandfather's figure sways as he heads the room down to mother's chamber. He opens it. Oh my god, is he having a fucking love affair with my mother? You hear him saying something quietly. Your unease is stronger than your fear now. You see closer to hear his words. You foul commoner. I have to cleanse my sins. Oh fuck, is he gonna murder her instead? I have to save my soul. You are my greatest sin. You and what you have done to Robert and his family. I should have put a stop to this marriage. I should have stopped Robert from taking this house by your presence. Why, oh why didn't I do it? Please, Sir Brante, I beg of you. Silence! Oh, you will do all my bidding. Fire will cleanse all low-born filth from this place. Fire and flame will free Robert from this disgrace. This is for my son's sake. For my son's sake. For my sake. I need to eradicate this low-born filth. The twins, they are calling for now. I can feel it. I can feel it. I beg of you, please have mercy. Mother begins to cry. You run into the room, unable to stay out of this any longer. Grandfather's gaunt figure looms over mother's bed, a lit oil lamp in his hand. Mother is sprawled all on the bed, crying. Please, just let me warn the children. I beg of you, Sir Brante. Your steps are loud enough to be heard. Grandfather turns to look at you. Stay out of this, Parsons. Be useful for once. Worldly matters concern me no longer. I see only my sins now, and a sinner I am. A sinner. The twins, they forgive me no one. They will judge me by the pillar. I must do something. I don't want to suffer for all eternity. Go away. Oh, he's basically gone mad at this point. I don't have enough fucking willpower. Why don't I have enough fucking... It only costs 5 fucking willpower. Ah! Mother's crying. Grandfather is still looming over the bed, driven to madness. His hand shakes as he clutches his oil lamp. His eyes shine in the dark. He truly believes this is to be done. You are suddenly torn. What if he's right? What if it's the only way for his soul to find salvation? There's no going back now. You have but a moment to act. I would stop fucking grandfather. Oh yeah, I love Gregor Brante -1. Gregor Brante, true death. So I can either run away and rescue Nathan and Gloria, or let it happen as grandfather wishes, which gives me nobility, ingenuity, spirituality, gives me 1 death. So it's basically, do I want to take on a death or not? What do I get for the death? I get 1 spirituality and 1 nobility. That's not a lot for death, to be honest. Because I would fucking I make this choice if I had more than 0 willpower. Yeah, I don't think a death is worth 1 nobility and 1 spirituality, as well as Lydia not liking me more. So I don't want to take on a second death right now. So I feel like I'm gonna need those lives later. You turn around and run for your brother and sister. Grandfather's prayers and mother's sobbings drive you to run faster. You wake up Nathan and Gloria and lead them out of their rooms in the house without any explanation. You hear mother's shrill cry of despair from the porch. A second-floor window shadows. A body in a nightgown drops to the floor. Then another cry of despair. An old man's cry. You cover your brother's eyes to hide the sight from him. The second floor of the estate has caught fire. Gloria runs for the neighbors. You take Nathan's hand and go to Tomas's house. Neighbors and servants flock to the house to put out the fire. Together you manage to extinguish the flames before the first floor is engulfed. The second floor, however, has been reduced to ash. You watch mother's body turn to dust and fly away with the sparks. Oh, my mom's dead. Yep, that's what I figured. Nathan is crying. Gloria hugs him and says that everything's fine. Mother will be soon reborn. I was like, is that true death? Tomas's family gives you refuge for the night. His charred body is taken to the family crypt in the morning. Gregor Brante has died his true death. You go there to look at him. His face is covered by the cloth, hiding its expression. Did Gregor Brante finally find solace at the pillar amongst the flames in his final living moments? Or did he die as he lived, an embittered soul driven mad because he could never truly live by his lot? Either way, life has changed. His burden no longer weighs heavy upon your family. For a moment, you are overcome with rage. Hot tears start rolling down your spine. This is it? You will never be able to prove anything to him now. All your future triumphs, all your words of defiance, grandfather will never hear them. He'll never see you grow up. What the fuck do I have to prove to him? He's a fucking asshole. What, so I can finally hear you did good, son? So I can like, I don't fucking care. He's an asshole. I don't need his respect. You hear a heavy door clang in the corner of the crypt. Out comes Mother, wrapped in a black cape. She's reborn. I keep forgetting that you just get reborn in this game. She looks around in surprise as she leaves the cold stone walls behind, then finally notices you. My son, Nathan, Gloria, what happened to them? You briskly wipe your face and comfort her. No one else died that night. It is hard to speak, like something is clutching at your throat. When Mother sees grandfather's charred remains, she closes her eyes with a deep sigh, then shakes so violently she falls to her knees. Then she starts whispering something. You recognize it. It is a prayer of gratitude to the twins. Oh, yeah, fucking put it to him. When she is done, she briskly wipes her face like you did now. Like you did. She looks younger now. Her eyes sparkle. She smiles so brightly and so sincerely. You've not seen her like this in a long, long time. Mother comes closer and pats her in the head, fondly and gently. You rescued your father and sister, saved them from a lesser death. Thank you, my son. Please remember this. None of this is your fault. This is my final life, and I promise to live it in... Oh, this is her final life? Jesus. You hear the snorting of horses outside. Father's back from Eterna. Oh no, he's dead! Oh my god! Yeah, that's the part that does suck though, because I'd rather not be in poverty. I'm not slow anymore. I'm still slow. I would like to be not slow by the end of this. Your grandfather, Sir Gregor Brante, has left this world forever to meet the twin gods. Forever to meet the twin gods. It's a little bit weirdly worded. Is that the last event of this year? Or are we going to another year? Or are we continuing this year? Nope, we're continuing this year. Last respects. The night of grandfather's death shook your family to the core. Yet no matter how it happened, your grandfather, Gregor Brante, is dead and will never return. You know, he's actually... I didn't think about this when I made the decision, but it might be beneficial to my family to fucking have him dead. And it might be detrimental to have him dead in some ways, because we don't have as a connection to the formal nobility in this world, but whatever. He was a fearful shadow looming over the rest of the family, the Brante patriarch exerting his influence on all the lives below him, and all of you will remember him forever. Father is the new patriarch of the family now, yet he still cannot bring himself to sit at the head of the table where Sir Gregor used to preside. Stefan locks himself away in grandfather's bedroom every day. He will not talk to anyone. Gloria and Nathan still jump at every sound that so much resembles the knocking of his walking stick. Mother spends all day in prayer at the temple. And yet the house has become calm and quiet with his passing. But there is one more thing that must be done. The final farewell. It weighs heavily upon your soul. So the day comes to pay your final respects. Father goes to the tomb alone, save for Stefan, Nathan, and you. Mother and Gloria stay at home. Only nobles or those who may become nobles may join this ritual. There is solemn silence as you walk to the crypt. Father is the one who breaks the silence when you finally reach the doors of the family's crypt. Your grandfather built this crypt, and now he will be the first Brante to remain here in body forever, the first ever noble in our family. It is our duty now hold to the sacrament of flowing blood for Sir Gregor. We will honor his legacy and join him as the founder of the noble Brante dynasty. Stefan perks up at father's words. His hands still clutch grandfather's sword. Tradition decrees that it must remain in the niche above the owner's sarcophagus. Nathan, on the other hand, looks even more frightened now. I don't know if I think that sentence was incorrectly written. Stairs carved of white stone lead you downward. Deep in the gloom of the crypt atop a pedestal, you see the sarcophagus that holds grandfather's body. Father takes a moment to compose himself before paying his final respect. Gregor Brante, my father, brought our family into nobility through his unshakable will. He was a judge and a loyal servant to the empire. He lived his life as he had been born a noble, and he never strayed from the path he had chosen. He sought to make the Brante family ennobled by the sword so that our children's children might be of noble birth. The twins know I abided by my father's word all my life, even if I could not obey him every time. Father lets out a bitter chuckle as he says this. Stefan glares at Father, then turns to glare at Nathan, at you. After all, the two of you were born of Father's shameful decision to marry a commoner. All of you remember his disastrous passing. He did not die the true death he deserved, yet we must all know that he fought for the future he believed in to the very end, and he would be proud to see his family bid him farewell with the sacrament of the nobility. Stefan still glares at Father sullenly. His fingers remain clutched around Grandfather's sword. Nathan barely pays attention to the words. He looks around with unease, his arms folded across his chest. Father reaches into his jacket and pulls out a slender dagger, thin and sharp. He takes off his gloves. Watch me carefully, my sons. Make a small cut on the palm of your hands and let your blood flow onto this duct on the wall of the crypt. It'll make your grandfather's blood it will join your grandfather's blood here and flow forever. Then ancestor and progeny will become as one. We shall enter our family's blood tide and retrieve grandfather's final blessing. For his blood flows first in our blood tide. He will respond to you. You are part of him, and he is part of you. With a quick motion, Father slices his hand and holds the bleeding cut above a small opening to the wall. Then he hands the dagger to Stefan. Stefan cuts his hand without hesitation and does as Father did. You receive the dagger next. If it does not let me cut my hand, because I do not have willpower, I'm going to be irritated because it did not give me a chance to get willpower again after that last decision. The dagger's handle feels warm. You hesitate for a moment as you look at the palm of your hand. If you participate in the ritual, you enter the Brante bloodline. You, a low-born child, a child who is still commoner. Are you ready to claim the legacy as a descendant of the nobleman Gregor Brante? The eyes of your father and brother are upon you. Nathan, the youngest brother, will follow your example. You will be certain of this. So I can give the dagger back. Give me willpower. I can bleed. Or I can ask for grandfather's blessing. I need nobility greater than or equal to 6 and Gregor Brante greater than or equal to 2. Neither. Oh, one of these must be true. Fuck. Dang it. Well, I'm going to bleed. I'm not going to give the dagger back. I will bleed. Because I believe this is kind of another step in order to enter into the nobility. I need willpower, though, at some point. You remember the fateful day when you were 8. The day when you tried to choose a different lot for yourself. You violated the ritual in the temple. You kissed the swords, and against all odds, you said you had the right to be a nobleman. And now you must confirm this right. You must join the Brante blood tide. You grasp the dagger firmly, then hold the blade to your skin and quickly drag it across your palm. Drops of blood fall onto the duct, flowing further into the crypt as you combine with the blood of your father and your brother. The fresh wound burns on your hand. What are you doing, Bossons? Why did you have to take these two along, father? The ritual is for nobles, and you two aren't even noblemen. Fuck it, you're not getting your dick sucked, Stefan, and now you're gonna be a broody asshole? You fucking like me, Stefan. You fucking like me, +3. His eyes meet Father's stern gaze. No one is to interrupt the sacrament. Indignant as he is, Stefan falls silent. You hand the dagger to Nathan. I feel like Nathan's not going to do it. Your younger brother hesitates. Father offers him help, but Nathan shakes his head. Finally, he makes a cut, and Nathan's blood joins yours in the duct of the crypt. The deed is done. It is time to close the sarcophagus. The lid falls into place with a heavy, resonant thud. Then suddenly, you all freeze as each of you hears your late grandfather speak to you. His voice is loud as it rings in the depths of the crypt, and yet he speaks to each of you separately. So, you think of yourself as my descendant? Son of a low-born woman? Very well. Time will tell how much nobility you have within. But know this. I am your ancestor. You are my flesh and blood. I will be watching you always, and my shadow will follow you all forever. Do not let me down, boy. Grandfather's voice falls silent. You glance at your father and brothers, astonished. Save for Stefan, everybody else is dumbfounded as well. The ritual is complete. Stefan reverently kisses the grip of grandfather's sword and places it in the alcove above the sarcophagus. Once all is done, you leave the crypt together. Cool, fresh wind blows in your face as you return to the surface. Stefan storms off to the carriage, fuming. Father stops halfway to the carriage and hugs Nathan and you briefly. Now your blood belongs to the dynasty of Sir Gregor Brante as well. Now my father is a big fan of me. +4 infection. I've joined the blood tide. Conditions: participate in the ritual, and then have nobleman sacrament or Gregor Brante greater than or equal to 2. You joined the blood tide of the Brante family. Alrighty. We'll see. We have, I think, secured a path for the nobility to move forward. Is that the end of this year then? It would make sense. No? The fugitive girl. Grandfather's passing last respects have left a mark on the entire family. His words relayed from the hereafter keep echoing in your mind. You do your best to avoid the memory of grandfather's last night and spend more time on the city streets with Tomas and your other classmates. The road by the house reminds you of another clash with death. Sometimes, as you walk along the road, you recall Sophia, the beautiful girl with the wonderful eyes and the terrifying, thundering hooves. You have not seen Sophia since that fateful day. The children who live nearby say her parents sent her to a rich Arcanian family, the Oddens, as a servant. The sun is set. The pillar shines palely in the dark sky. Tomas is ill, so you decide to visit him and tell him the latest news. The streets seem oddly agitated tonight, full of horses, cloaked men, strange faces, and hushed voices. A young nobleman in a heavy embroidered cloak is walking back and forth, clutching at his sword nervously. There's a grimace of rage on his delicate blue face. He is an Arcanian. You overhear voices. Sir Auden, the girl's not at home. We searched the house. Her parents swear that she ran from home too. They claim that they wanted to bring her back. Dorius Auden. Just do whatever it takes. Turn this loathsome district upside down if you must, but bring my servant back to me. She's here. Oh, I imagine we're gonna come upon her and we're gonna get a decision to turn her in or not. Is that the thing? Sophia? Ran away from an Arcanian? How can this be? There's only one place on the entire street where a person could hide. The abandoned Morel house. 4 houses away from yours. You head there, doing your best not to attract attention. The lopsided house built of yellow brick has been abandoned for 20 years or so. You remember playing there as a boy. You glimpse a figure inside even before you enter. A pair of eyes glimmer in the dark. You recognize them even after another 4 years. Sophia's grown up. She's almost an adult now, and her face is full of fear. She's not the easygoing girl that you remember. She finally recognizes you. Oh, it's you, Parsons. Be quiet. They're all looking for me. I ran away from the youngest Auden. I might be in for a letter death here, but I'd rather die than spend another day in their slavery. I'm not just a thing to him. Just a toy to play with. Oh, is she getting raped? I have a feeling. Sophia winces and closes her mouth as she says this. There's a glint of bright yellow deep in her eyes. I ran to my parents. I told them all about the men I had to serve, and they went and alerted the Audens. They don't want to be the target of their ire, but you aren't going to tip them off, are you? The barking and shouting are getting closer. Sophia's voice grows quiet. She runs off to the darkest corner of the house before you can answer. One of Auden's servants is so close you can hear his cloak swishing around the ground. He noticed something and calls for the others. There are more voices around you now. They approach the house from the yard and surround it. One of them looks particularly snappy, annoyed, and impatient. You have already heard this voice today. If you're in there, girl, you'd be wise to come out and quit wasting my time. All will be forgiven, and you'll go back where you were. You know it, and if you don't, I'll drag you out of here by your hair. The hilt of the young Arcanian sword bashes at the door. He's about to lose patience for good. Sophia hugs the wall in the dark, trying to stay still. She glances at you. What will you do? Your heart is racing. Can you act against the Arcanian's orders? Do you have the gall to defy the mighty nobleman? These, I imagine, both require willpower. Yeah. Sophia has not died her first death, so I can't do that. So I bring Sophia back to Auden, which gives me Sophia Merciless. Doors Auden likes me a little bit, or hide alone. I think I need. Things prone to dangerous. You are not to, but the influence the fate of Sophia. Yeah, I need willpower, to be honest. Merciless. I don't really care. Why do you dislike me, bro? Family relations. Why do you dislike me? Indifference? Just because I'm a. Oh. He's the future commander of the province. Ah, I see why it might be good for him to like you then. So basically, do I want willpower? Like, willpower. I did read the achievements for the game, and so I know there are achievements for like dueling Auden, and also like hanging Auden for true death. So I feel like Auden might not be a dude I want to like. You can side. I feel like I just need the willpower though, just because I like. I'm sorry, Sophia. I've not invested in you in any way, shape, or form. Like, and the thing is, the only options I have, it's either fucking bring you out or do nothing. So I'm gonna do nothing, just 'cause I need the willpower. You swiftly turn away from Sophia's desperate gaze and flee to cower in a dark corner. A pained sigh reaches your ears. I knew it. You do not respond. You need to hide. The front door slams open. Heavy footsteps echo from the entrance. The irate Arcanian strides right past your hiding place, paying you no heed whatsoever. Where are you, you little tramp? There's no hiding from me. A shadowy figure streaks past you. Sophia? A high-pitched, furious scream slices through the silence. Oh my. A blinding golden flash explodes in front of you. A sudden cascade of sparks burning through the darkness. As you blink, stunned, Auden's tall figure freezes and suddenly collapses. The golden sparks are still dancing before your eyes. A sudden pain seems to rupture your skull from the inside. Through the light and pain, you barely catch a glimpse of Sophia as she dashes past the prone Arcanian and runs out the door. It takes Auden a few long moments to regain his senses. He gets up with a curse and runs after Sophia. So, she's a witch too, eh? Get her! Now! Now! Get to the chopper! Maybe I should go for the Arnold Schwarzenegger. Get to the chopper! Voice for the rest for Dorius. You hear men running, shouting, and barking orders on the other side of the wall. You lie there on the pile of old bricks, rubbing your eyes. The strange stupor slowly leaves you. You get to your feet and walk unsteadily out of the abandoned house. The danger is past. You walk back home, lost in thought. So Sophia's a witch? You recall how her magic bound Auden by the arms and legs, how he lost all control of his body. The runaway servant girl becomes the talk of the district for an entire week. Hear that Sophia has managed to flee the city. The Ottens are furious. Like, I bring her out. It's either she does the same thing to me or she's taken back. So honestly, this is the better outcome for her. And, yeah. Embittered. Oh, my. Sophia vanished from your life just as suddenly as she came. You'll not see her again for quite some time. Well, she's fucking embittered. After what you did, Sophia realized that the world is cruel and does not deserve to be spared. Oh, she's gonna become a fucking witch and fucking do stuff later, I bet. But now I have 0 willpower again. Nice. So now I can actually make hard decisions more freely. Oh. 1133. The final year of our adolescence, it looks like. 1133. Summer. The Bloodstained Sermon. You're about to turn 15, just one step away from adulthood. Mother is acting anxious at dinner today, barely touching her food. You exchange glances with Gloria. She carefully tells you that she wants to go to the tailor. Mother shudders and her hands clench into fists. No! Don't you dare leave home today! I forget it! That dirty heretic Fotis is preaching his lies under the silver tree today. Twins willing, I don't want you to hear any of that. You and Gloria glance at each other. Fotis. He is a patriarch, the head of the clergy throughout the entire province. This is the first time you heard Mother speak like this about a priest, especially such a high-ranking one. Once you leave the dinner table, Gloria comes to the room with a cunning expression on her face, like she's about to play a trick on someone. She has a plan. The two of you should sneak out of the house and go to the silver tree. You simply must hear that sermon for yourself. What's so bad about Trachtes, Patriarch Fotis? Why does Mother hate him so much? You two are grown-ups now. Surely you have the right to know. You agree with your sister. Tonight you sneak out from under the Mother's watchful eye and hurry to the silver tree. The temple block is full of people from all ranks and estate. There's barely enough room to squeeze through the crowd. The crowd has gathered around the very roots of the tree. Gloria suggests that you climb up on the roof of nearby buildings so you can hear and see everything better. And not a moment too soon. From the roof you see a tall, silver-haired priest step upon the platform by the tree, dressed in the common black robe that looks far beneath his rank. Yet, he stands like a noble before the crowd. Behind his back is a banner flapping in the wind. The open book. This is the symbol of the new faith. The crowd whispers. The patriarch holds up his hand to the sky, and the entire temple block grows quiet. He begins the sermon, his vibrant voice rolling across the square. Fotis speaks of a great mistake. Patriarch Fotis. We entrusted ourselves to the lots as the only way to fulfill divine providence in this world. But for all these years the wills of the twins has been interpreted by a single man, Prophet Issachus. The twins are ever watching from atop the shining pillar. Of this we have no doubt. But how can we blindly believe that if we truly followed their will by following the lots? Have we not seen the 3 lots of Issachus fall again and again to answer the question of how we ought to live our lives? Fail again and again. Whoops. That's actually a pretty big mistake. Fall again and again. Fail again and again. Have we not seen people change their lot in life again and again without being smitten by divine wrath? Every person, born human, whether human or Arcanian, low-born or noble, must find their lot and their way to the gods on their own. He's basically Martin Luther. From now on, we will seek the gods in the accounts of their own lives, in their own acts in this world, and their own words as they echo within us. As we heed the voices of the twins within, we find each their own path, for us on our own. The crowd at the silver tree listens to the patriarch's speech in stunned silence. You glance at your sister. Your eyes glisten with tears, and she hears Fotis' words. And suddenly, a hoarse cry rises from the crowd. If there are no lots, does that mean the nobles are going to till the fields and the commoners are going to bear arms? The crowd begins to murmur. The patriarch raises an arm and hails, ready to answer. An odd figure leaps from the crowd on the platform. A dirty beggar dressed in rags. A knife flashes in his hand. The blade slices. Oh, Jesus. Blood starts spurting from Fotis' throat. He slumps over and collapses. A dark brown puddle spreads across the platform where he had stood. Gloria clutches her mouth to suppress a shriek. A few moments of stunned silence, and then the screams begin. The people are frantic. The temple guards try to restore order in the crowd, but to no avail. An old woman dressed in an inquisitor's cassock tries in vain to apply pressure to the patriarch's wound. The nobles draw their swords. Dogs are barking. The crowd is shoving and pushing. Children are crying. The entire square by the tree is in chaos. From the roof you see the moment when people start trampling each other, howling, praying, shouting. Gloria tugs at your sleeve. Time to go. You climb down from the roof and run. You return home without exchanging a word. Mother has been in her room all the while, so no one noticed your absence. Gloria locks herself in her room. You do not discuss the things you have just seen. They are too frightening. But your parents discuss every little detail of the blood-stained sermon over dinner. Like, that's the difficult thing. Is like, you definitely do not want everybody to be constantly embroiled in conflict in order to make your society work, right? Because there are people, we do need people to till the fields, to be the garbage men, to be, you know, the cafeteria workers, the fast food workers, these what are deemed lesser positions in life. And we absolutely need these people. They're integral to our society. And that's why I think we can look upon these people not with disgust and hatred and loathing. We can look at them with gratitude that they are accepting a position so that you can go out and do much more with your life. And that's how I think, society works. I think there are plenty of people that are happy to fill these roles. That's all they want from life. They want to work, a fast food, and then they want to go home and share their love with their family. Their love of storytelling, their love of sitting around a fire, their love of woodworking, whatever they love. They don't love their job. They do their job so that they can live, so that they can then do what they love. And I don't think